All right. Hello, 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 everyone. As you've probably noticed, I am not Hal Elrod. However, stay tuned because the man is in the house. I'm looking at him right now, and he is about to start the training for the miracle equation. And I've seen some of his notes, and this man prepares like you will not believe. So you are in for a treat. So we see some of the folks here that are coming on here. We have from Florida, from Carolina Beach, Hamilton, Ontario. Let's see if we have hi from Austria. Excellent. Coming to you from Austin. We are also in Austin, Cody. That's awesome. I see you there. Good morning, everyone. Aloha from Hawaii, where it's super, super early in the morning. Rotterdam, Germany. Holy crap, this is awesome. New York, New York. Hello from Texas, Orlando, Florida, New York, Maryland. I see you, lots of folks from the UK, from France, from Houston, from the Netherlands, Sacramento, California, Pahonix, Arizona, Key West, Florida, one of my favorite places, awesome, New Delhi, India, Aberdeen, Scotland, San Antonio, close, Brazil. Brazil is in the house. Okay, we love all of you folks from Brazil are supporting Hal in the Miracle Morning so well. Thank you so much for that. This is wonderful. Lots and lots of people here. Guys, I hope that you're ready today. You will actually not necessarily need your workbook, but you're going to need to take notes. So hopefully, where is mine? I have a journal here, but if you have a journal, if you have something to take notes, just prepare for this, because what Hal is going to go over are actual ways to implement. Hey, thank you, Hal. Use your journal and take notes, because today you're going to learn how to implement the principles from the miracle equation, which is fantastic. See more people: Holland, Pittsburgh, Austin, Denver, Colorado, Memphis. Guys, thank you so much for showing up to this. And we are almost at 10:30, so it's almost getting ready to start here. And you are definitely in for a treat, because this is wonderful to have Hal Elrod himself give his first live training via YouTube, and I'm glad that this is working okay. This is awesome. See so many of you. Hello from Athens, Greece. Awesome. We have folks from all over the world. We appreciate you coming to this, and very, very excited. So get your notes ready. Get your pen ready for this, because it's going to be good. And being as it is now 10:30, I'm about to introduce you to Hal Elrod. You've seen him before. He is the man who has not once, but twice defied death. Yeah, he has actually died for 6 minutes to be with you here today, and to pass on principles and life-changing things that will absolutely help your life and bless you in a very profound way. He is a Hall of Fame business achiever. He is an ultra marathoner. And folks, I'm going off script here, but he is my friend. And let me tell you, he walks the walk like no one you've ever seen. Everything that he tells you about, the miracle mornings that he does, he lives them in his life. He is as authentic as they come, and he is exactly the person off camera that he is on camera. And that is very profound and very wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Hal Elrod.
I don't know if I hear a round of applause, Chip, but in my mind I do. In my mind I do. I'm pretending. Hey, everybody. Let me get this up a little bit. Woo! What are we looking at? Wow, look at around the world. I heard Chip introducing where everyone is tuning in from, and we do really have folks around the world. And Stella Loy says, "Thank you, Chip."
Oh, you're very welcome.
So I say thank you as well. It's an honor to have Chip here. Chip is the Chief Miracle Worker, CMW, at Hal Elrod International. And yeah, so you'll be hearing a lot more and seeing a lot more of Chip Franks, as he is brilliant. And I've realized that part of my role is to introduce him to the world. So in a bigger way than he already is. Oh, we get claps. I'm getting lots of people are clapping in the chat. Yeah, chat claps. I like it. Chat claps. So it's a new term. All right, so I do have, as Chip mentioned, a lot of preparation went into today. So we want to make sure that you guys get a lot of value. And I want to thank you for being here first and foremost. This is special, and it's special for numerous reasons, each of which is unique to you. Like, you have your own reason why this is a special experience for you. I'll tell you why it is special for me. Not only is this the first ever Miracle Equation live training, this is the first live training that I've ever done. Occasionally I've done a live stream or a webinar here or there, but I've never done a live training like this, certainly never a 6-week live training. And so this is really exciting for me to be able to deliver this to you. And as far as what the purpose is of today's training, it's real simple. The purpose is to help you implement everything that you read in the Miracle Equation book, right? I've got the Miracle Equation book right here. I've got a poster of it right there. And but that's real simple. The purpose is to help you implement everything in the book. And why is that important? Well, if you've read books before, self-help, self-improvement, personal development, business books, those types of nonfiction books, you may be aware that we often read a book, but we don't implement what we learn in the book. You know, that I think that many of us are far too guilty of that far too often. And what ends up usually happening when someone's done reading a book, right? You're reading it, and as you're reading it, you're going, oh my gosh, that's going to change my life. It's brilliant, right? And then, oh wow, have you heard this? You know, and you're in the book. You're getting so much knowledge, so much information, so much wisdom, and then when you're done with the book, you go, wow, that was incredible. And then you usually go, okay, or I shouldn't say you, we usually go, oh, what's the next book on my shelf that I've been just dying to read? And then we grab that book and we read that book. And as we're reading that book, we forget the other book that we read. And so you may have heard me say this before, but we don't necessarily need more information as much. Information's valuable, don't get me wrong, but we don't need more information as much as I believe we need methods for implementation. Now, the paradox is that methods for implementation are delivered in the form of information, right? So it's a little bit of a paradox there. There's some irony for sure, but that's really what, if you read The Miracle Morning and you lived The Miracle Morning, that's what made The Miracle Morning such a life-changing book. It wasn't that I was the most eloquent writer. I don't claim to be that. It was that that book gave you methods for implementation. It literally taught you how to beat the snooze button if you've never been a morning person by simply moving your alarm clock across the room, right? Pouring a glass of water. It was step by step. And I really tried to do the same thing for the Miracle Equation for this book, to make it really tactical and practical, not woo-woo, not esoteric, but really practical for you and tangible. And so this course over the next 6 weeks is going to take that even further as I walk you through it, right? I walk you through implementing everything that you learned in the book. Now, the outcome is different than the purpose. The outcome of this training and the outcome of the book and the outcome of the Miracle Equation as a concept is to help you become a miracle maven. And if you've started reading the book, you may remember the term miracle maven. And a maven comes from the Yiddish word mavin, and that means one who understands. So a miracle maven is simply someone who understands the two decisions that make up the Miracle Equation: unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, and understand that these aren't one-time decisions, but they're fundamental ways of being, of thinking, of living. They're the filter through which you filter every opportunity that comes your way and every challenge that comes your way. And you view every opportunity with unwavering faith that you can optimize and achieve and maximize that opportunity. And you view every challenge through the lens of unwavering faith that you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. And each week we're going to go deep in 1 to 2 concepts from the book. And since today is the first training, this is the first week, week 1, of course, I'll be laying the foundation for how to get the most out of the entire 6 weeks. And we're also going to go into one concept, which is all about your mission. And there's a few supporting concepts that we'll dive into as well. But the whole focus of today is really creating a foundation for the next 6 weeks, right? Today and the next 5 weeks after, and then diving deep into this concept of establishing or clarifying your mission, or sometimes I call it your miracle mission in some of the handouts. So whether you call it your mission or your miracle mission, either way, that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, let me see here. I want to mention before we start that one of the most important components of why we're all here is this Miracle Morning mission. And it's evolving beyond just the morning, right? It's the miracle mission, I guess, the miracle life mission, depending on how you look at it. But this is the mission, more important than anything. Chip mentioned my accomplishments. And the only reason that those are important, I believe, is because I use the miracle equation to overcome every challenge that Chip mentioned, to overcome my car accident and learn to walk again, to overcome a very potentially fatal cancer, and to sell millions of books and become a Hall of Fame business achiever and all of those things using the miracle equation. That's why the accomplishments are relevant, only because it's evidence of what's possible for you. But what to me is much more important is the mission that we are on. It is a collective mission that I am a part of. And that mission is to elevate the consciousness of humanity one morning, one miracle, one person at a time. And I say it's a collective mission very intentionally, because while it may have been me that started, it might have started as my mission, it is now a mission that nearly 2 million people around the world are a part of. And you may be wondering, what does that mean exactly? Elevate the consciousness of humanity. What does that mean? And maybe more so, how are we going to do that, right? You may be wondering those things. Well, elevating the consciousness of humanity is what it sounds like. But it's really being done by the entire global Miracle Morning community. And it's being done in a very simple way. It's not rocket science. It's being done by you every single day, and by me every single day, and by Chip Franks over there every single day, and every one of us watching. Because as we wake up and we dedicate time to our personal development, and we learn, and we grow, and we evolve, and we elevate ourselves, as each of us elevates our own consciousness each day individually, by default, as members of humanity, the global consciousness is absolutely elevated. And so what we're going to go into today, the first concept, I don't want to make you wait any longer to get the goods. We're going to talk first and foremost, before we go into your mission, I want to talk to you. Oh, by the way, let me mention this. This was originally going to be a 4-week course, And so I'm going to give you some logistics here real quick. Originally, it was going to be a 4-week course to deliver the content. I decided to make it a 6-week course because I wanted to add a little bit of buffer. The buffer being the first week, right today. It's important that we lay some foundation, that we create some context, so that the next 4 weeks of really deep diving into the content are really valuable for you and you get the most out of them. And then I wanted to have a little bit of buffer on the back end so that we had one extra week to do pure Q&A questions. So what's going to happen after today's live training, I'm going to send out a recording. So, we have 7,000 people that have emailed in their receipts for their bonuses this week. We probably have, I'm not looking at the number, but I think we have, a couple thousand or so that would log in live. The rest of the people are at work and they're at school and they're asleep because they're in different parts of the country and it's 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And I'm so impressed by so many of you from different countries that it's late where you are, or it's early. It's an obscene hour, but you made it, you're here. And if you're not watching live, you're going to get the recording in the next 24 hours. But in that email, this is important for everybody. There's going to be an evaluation form. It's a really simple Google form with 2 questions. It'll take you as long as you want to take on it, but probably just, between a few minutes and maybe 5 or 10 if you really want to give a lot of feedback. But it's an opportunity, because this is being recorded live. There's a really neat opportunity that you have, that we all have, that you wouldn't have if I just, if this was a bonus where you were delivered a 6-week online course that was pre-recorded, you wouldn't have the opportunity that we're going to have. And that is for you to give real-time feedback as we're going every single week after the live course. So after the live course, or if you watch this on the recording, there's going to be a link in the email to fill out an evaluation form. Again, just a couple of questions. So you can give any feedback that you have on anything that you liked, that you didn't quite like, or you didn't resonate with, or maybe you didn't understand. You can submit any questions that you have based on the content that we just had. And you can submit requests of what you want to learn next week or the week after that, or just at any point throughout the rest of the training. So you're going to be able to submit that evaluation and give feedback every week. And I'm going to read through your answers and I'm actually going to use your feedback from today, after today's training. I'm going to read those answers, and I'm going to use that feedback to improve what I'm already planning on delivering for you next week and the 4 weeks after that. So the 6-week course, while it is outlined in my notes, right? I've got a plan of the content I want to deliver. It's not finite. We're going to be shaping it collectively together. So theoretically, your experience of the Miracle Equation live training, it should get better week after week after week as I can shape the content based on the feedback that you provide in that evaluation form. So thank you in advance for taking a few minutes of your valuable time to go ahead and do that. Wow, the comments are coming in like crazy. I apologize that I can't keep up with the thousands of comments that are coming in, or the hundreds of comments. Yeah, I'm going to dive into the content. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the be, do, have paradigm. So I hope you're taking notes. As Chip mentioned, today you don't need to have any of the handouts in front of you. I know that one of the emails that I sent said to print out the 30-day challenge workbook. And if you have that printed out, that is fantastic. I'm going to want you to be using that in between our live trainings. And I'm going to want you to have that for next week. So for next week, week number 2, if you're on live or if you're watching the video, bring that workbook. We're not going to be following the workbook to a T as we go through the training. That's not the purpose of the training. You'll be doing the workbook at your own pace. In fact, I know some of you are already done with it. I've seen some social media posts, and I've received some emails from people saying that they've completed their 30-day challenge workbook and they've already started their 30-day challenge. However, here's a little bonus, and this is not finite. So everything that typically I do is not set in stone. There is always flexibility to adapt it and make it work for you. That's part of the way that I train or teach, is usually not, you have to do it this way. Even the Miracle Morning, the Savers, it was, hey, here's 6 practices. You could do all of them. You could do some of them. You could do them in order from SAVERS, or you can mix up the order any way you want. You can mix up any duration that you want, right? I'm a big believer that there's not usually a one-size-fits-all solution for folks. I believe that we're all different. We all have different preferences. We have different styles. We have different attention spans, right? So therefore, really customizing things to us, I think is ideal. And I know for me, like when I'm listening to a meditation, for example, or I do yoga, when I'm in a yoga class, I love when the instructor says, all right, here's the position that I'm throwing out there, but you could do this any way you want. You could do this variation or that variation, or you could make up your own variation, or you could do it just kind of halfway, or like, I love when I'm given flexibility. And I think as human beings, I think for most of us, unless we grew up in a military family or in the military, having things super rigid is not usually the best way. Giving flexibility, I think, gives us an opportunity to make things and have ownership of our experience in any given setting, in any given moment or time in life. Look at everybody's forming accountability partners throughout. I love it in the comments. This is great. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the be, do, have paradigm for self-improvement, for improving your life. Now, most of us think we need to have a certain thing or a set of things, more money or love or time or experience or education. We think that we need to have these things so that we can finally do something important, right? Find our purpose, pursue our passion, start a business, write a book, go on vacation, create a relationship, buy a home, right? So again, we think we need to have certain things so that we can finally do something important, which will then allow us to be what we truly want in life. And when I say be happy, be peaceful, be fulfilled, be inspired, be generous or philanthropic, be in love, etc. In actuality, it works the other way around. You've got, and Zig Ziglar said this really well. Zig Ziglar said, you've got to be before you can do, and you've got to do before you can have. So first, we need to be what we want. So we need to be happy. We need to be peaceful. We need to be loving. We need to be inspired. We need to be confident. We need to be disciplined. We need to be consistent or whatever. Then once we be the person that we need to be, we can start doing things from this state of being. And as soon as we discover that what we're doing winds up bringing us the things we've always wanted to have. So it goes be, and then do, and then have. The opposite of how most people think we need to have something that will enable us to do something that will then enable us to be what we want to be, right? So most of us get it backwards. This paradigm switches it around, and we realize that we need to be and then have and then do, or be and then do and then have. Whether or not this concept is new to you, all right? And even though on the surface it may seem either counterintuitive or confusing or both, it's actually quite powerful and it's life-altering when we really get it and we practice it in our lives. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I have personally experienced the profound impact of living in alignment with the do, or the, I keep saying it wrong, the be, do, have paradigm. Now, you've probably heard me talk about how during the two most painful and difficult experiences of my life, one was following my car accident when I was found dead and told I would never walk again. And the other was my cancer diagnosis when I was told that I had a 10 to 30% chance of surviving, which was a 70% to 90% chance I was going to die. And I decided to be the happiest and the most grateful that I had ever been in my entire life while I endured these two most difficult, painful experiences that I had ever endured in my entire life. And it was by choosing to be happy and grateful that I didn't feel like a victim. I didn't feel sorry for myself. I wasn't emotionally distraught. I wasn't angry. I wasn't depressed. I was genuinely happy and grateful as I sat there in my hospital bed both times, going through pain and realizing that, look, since I have to go through this painful experience, I might as well be happy while I go through it. And I'm not happy because I'm going through a painful experience. I'm happy because that is our choice. We can always choose to be happy. We can choose to be grateful. We can choose to be peaceful. We can choose to be loving. We can choose to be calm. We can choose to be whatever will enable us to be in an optimal state, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Be in an optimum state each and every day so that you can take on any challenge or take on any opportunity as the best version of yourself. And a whole nother story or tangent that we could get on, which I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's worth mentioning, is the mind-body connection. In fact, I'm reading Joe Dispenza's book right now, You Are the Placebo, right? Which backs this up with all the science on how our mind literally heals our body, or our mind hurts our body. It can kill our body. So we can either heal ourselves through the power of the mind, and by putting ourselves in that emotional, mental, spiritual, physical state, starting in our mind, who we choose to be can literally affect our health, our body, and every other aspect of our life. So here's a new equation for you. I know we're talking about the miracle equation today, but here's a new equation for you. If you want to write this down, you can. TMM plus TME, so that's the miracle morning plus the miracle equation, equals BE plus do equals have, right? So the miracle morning plus the miracle equation, that really is your formula. The miracle morning is your be. That's how you become the person that you need to be to create everything you want for your life. And then the miracle equation is the do. That is the formula. That's how you do the things, both with your miracle mindset, which is the unwavering faith piece, and the miracle method, which is the extraordinary effort piece. This is the do, right? That's how you do the things that will enable you to have what you want in your life. And when I say have, I'm not just talking about things that you can see and feel, meaning I'm not just talking about having a fancy car and a nice house and a bunch of money. I'm not saying those things are bad. In fact, I have worked hard to have those things because those give me freedom and those give me a lot of the other things that I value at a high level. freedom, the ability to help other people, contribute through the income and that sort of thing. But ultimately, when I say have, I'm really talking about a life of fulfillment. To have fulfillment in your life, to have purpose, to have meaning, to have contribution. That's really the have piece. It's not just having material things. It's having things that light you up, that make you excited to wake up every day, having a purpose, having all the things that make you, they're not tangible necessarily, right? You can't hold a purpose in your hand, right? You can't grab meaning out of the sky and look at it, right? These are internal qualities, but ultimately it's why we want to have anything outside of us is because of the state that we believe it will create inside of us. But you've seen this with so many celebrities and many successful people that have the material things that they want, but they never learned how to have the purpose and the meaning and the joy and the gratitude and the happiness, the things that we're really after. We don't really want to have the house and the car and the money. We want to have those things because we believe that it'll bring us peace of mind. We want to have peace of mind. We want to have freedom to do what we want when we want. And again, money gives us that freedom, or it can give us that freedom if we use it the right way. All right, so when it comes to be, do, have, you've got the miracle morning, right? Most of the, I won't assume that everybody here started with the miracle morning. I know that there are many people that are just being brought into our community through the miracle equation. This is your first introduction to this community, right? But for the majority, I know that roughly 90% of the people on this training found my work and found this whole community through the miracle morning. So that it gives you the be part, right? That helps you be the person you need to be. And then it's about doing the things you want to do. But before we dive in, we're going to dive into the training today on, where's my phone, by the way? I don't know. Oh, there we go. I just wanted to see the time. I wasn't going to make a call or text anybody, I swear. I wasn't going to check Facebook. I just wanted to double check our time. We're good though. All right, the real purpose of a goal. This is such an important concept that I want to revisit this and summarize it right now. Most of us, and if you're taking notes, again, hopefully you started out by, you took some notes on the be, do, have paradigm. The second lesson here is the real purpose of a goal, the real purpose of a goal. Most of us have a self-limiting paradigm. Really, it's kind of a black and white paradigm around our goals and the process of goal setting, right? The paradigm is, if I hit my goal, well, then I succeed. I've succeeded. If I don't hit my goal, well, then I've failed. And that paradigm limits us because we typically only set goals that we believe that we can hit, right? When was the last time you set a goal that you didn't actually think you were going to hit? When was the last time that you looked at a goal and you went, man, that goal is so big, the odds of me hitting it are like slim to none. In fact, I don't think I'm going to hit it, but I'm going to give it everything I have. I'm going to commit to giving it everything I have, no matter what. Most of us, that's not normal. We don't do that. We don't pursue a goal with everything we have that we don't really believe we have a likeliness of reaching. Most of us stay within our comfort zone, and we only pursue goals that we believe we are going to achieve, that we're going to reach. But the world's most successful people had to step out on faith. And for you to achieve the life that you really want, for you to achieve the potential that you have within you, for you to create the life that maybe you've dreamt of in the past, but you've shied away from because there were no guarantees, because it looked a little bit too far off, a little bit too unrealistic, a little bit too unlikely. But it's stepping out on faith, and here's the paradigm that changes that. It's understanding that the real purpose of a goal is not to hit the goal. Whether or not we hit the goal is inconsequential relative to who we become by committing to giving it everything we have to reach the goal, regardless of whether or not we hit any particular goal. Remember, only the growth lasts forever. It's who you become that will impact your quality of life more than anything else. Because if you miss a goal, but you develop qualities and characteristics that you did not have previous to attempting the goal, well, now you're a different person than when you attempted that goal. So now when you attempt the next goal, you're more qualified, you're more capable, and you're more deserving because you are more qualified and capable of achieving your next goal. And so you're more likely to achieve it. Now you're becoming a goal achiever. Now, whether or not you achieve the next goal or not, you're more likely, more probable too, but you might not hit it. But now if you give it everything you have to achieve that next goal, you're developing the qualities and the characteristics of a goal achiever. And more often than not, it's not that you didn't hit the goal, it's that you didn't hit the goal in the time frame that you set for that goal. More often than not, things take longer than we initially planned, right? If you're like me, we're terrible at accurately estimating how long it will take to achieve a goal. And I'll tell you a quick story about that. When I wrote The Miracle Morning and I published it, I started getting, first of all, when I first wrote it, I wasn't that ambitious. I thought, well, hopefully this changes a few lives, but I don't know that that it's going to reach that many people. I don't have a big platform, meaning I don't have a big audience of people that I can reach. So I essentially thought I'm going to, just get it out there and do whatever I can to reach as many people as I can, whether that's a few hundred or a few thousand, we'll see. I started getting emails from people that were reading the book and applying the 30-day challenge saying, this radically changed my life. This saved my marriage. This, I just had the best week in my career. I started running again. This got me off my depression medication. I mean, these really profound results. And when I got these emails and saw Amazon reviews talking about how the Miracle Morning had changed their life, I finally came out with a mission. And I said, my mission is to change 1 million lives one morning at a time. And I set a goal to do it in 1 year. Meaning my goal was to sell 1 million copies of The Miracle Morning in 1 year. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was committed to the miracle equation: unwavering faith and extraordinary effort. So I started doing 10 to 20 podcast interviews every single week, right? I did over 100 interviews 150 interviews that first year. I also launched my own podcast. Think about, by the way, I really hope you're listening to this story, because this, to me, it really is encouraging for all of you if you're listening and things are taking longer in your life or your business than you wanted them to. It could be in your relationship. It could be in your career. Things might be taking longer. So please listen to this story, and hopefully this will give you a real shot of encouragement. So my goal was 1 year. I did over 100 or 150 podcast interviews. I did a weekly podcast on my own, the Achieve Your Goals podcast. I know many of you listen to that. The Achieve Your Goals podcast, I did over 50 episodes, 52 episodes to be exact. It was one a week for that entire year. So I did over nearly 200, maybe more than 200 podcast episodes between my own and those that I was interviewing on. I did over a dozen television interviews. I did Good Morning Houston and Great Day Sacramento and Good Day. I did Daytime, NBC's national TV show, Daytime. Over a dozen talk shows. I gave over 20 I think 36 speaking engagements that year, about 3 a month, right? So I promoted the heck out of Miracle Morning. I put forth extraordinary effort. At the end of the year, do you know how many copies of the Miracle Morning I sold? Remember, the mission was to sell 1 million copies, or to change 1 million lives one morning at a time. I sold roughly 10,000 copies that year. I fell short of my goal by 990,000 copies. I impacted 990,000 less lives than I was committed to impacting. I want you to let that sink in for a second. How would you have felt, right? What would you have done? And I thought about it. I thought, maybe I'm kidding myself. Maybe I should throw in the towel. Maybe I should quit. Remember, as you pursue your miracle, as you pursue your mission, you will be tempted to give up. You'll be tempted by fear of failure, fear of success, fear of it may never happen, or it's taking too long. And you'll be tempted by self-doubt, a lot of self-doubt. You override fear and self-doubt with unwavering faith. And we're obviously we're not going to go into unwavering faith today. That's going to be either next week or the week after. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the outline right now. That'll be soon. We're going to spend an entire episode on unwavering faith. How do you establish it? How do you maintain it? How do you maintain it in the face of fear and self-doubt? But to touch on that now, I had fear and self-doubt, but I was committed to maintaining unwavering faith and doing whatever it took to reach 1 million people with the Miracle Morning. No matter what, there was no other option, right? I was committed regardless of my results and no matter how long it took. And I remember, I have a thought in my head, like I remember thinking, maybe it's going to take me 30 years. But if you've heard me say this before, that when you finally get to the place in your life that you've been working for so long, and you're working so hard for so long, and you've been tempted to quit so many times, when you finally get to that, you get there, when you finally reach the goal, when your mission comes to fruition, you look back and you realize that the timing is always perfect. You almost never wish it would have happened any sooner. Instead, you look back and you realize, oh, the journey, every step of that journey leading up until this moment, it was necessary. In fact, it was valuable. I learned so much from all of my challenges and my failures and the things I had to overcome, the setbacks, the obstacles. They were all part of the journey and the growth. And you eventually becoming, or you becoming the person that you need to be to eventually create everything that you want for your life. So when you get there, you never look back and wish it would happen sooner. Instead, you look back and you're at peace with the timing. So don't wait until the future to be at peace with the timing. I'm begging you, I'm inviting you, I'm encouraging you. Don't wait for hindsight to have 20/20 vision into the perfection of your journey. Be at peace with where you are now, with how long it's taking. Be at peace with every aspect of the journey while you wake up every day and you maintain a healthy sense of urgency to keep moving forward, keep taking action, keep putting forth your extraordinary effort, which, as you're going to learn, and you already probably know this, you've heard me talk about it, but we're going to dive deep into it, is not working 80 hours a week. It's simply doing one thing a day, committing to a process that will make your success inevitable by doing one. It can be more than one, but at least one thing every day. Might only take you 30 minutes, might take you less. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, 30, half an hour, maybe an hour. But every day you do one thing that moves you forward in the direction of your goals and dreams. For me, with the Miracle Morning, I did one thing every day. I did at least something. Sometimes it was as simple as just one social media post. It literally took me 5 minutes, but I was committed to extraordinary effort. That became a voice in my head. See, unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, after the 30-day challenge, they'll become voices in your head. When I wake up in the morning and the alarm goes off and I go, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do my Miracle Morning today. I don't feel like it. I don't feel motivated. By the way, that happens. You'd be surprised at how many days my first voice in my head is, I don't want to do this today. I don't feel like the Miracle Morning. I'm tired. I want to go back to sleep. However, I've trained my brain, and you will do the same thing in your 30-day challenge. That's the point of the 30-day challenge, is to recondition your brain so that unwavering faith and extraordinary effort are the fundamental mindsets of your consciousness, the way that you think. And so, sorry, I looked at the chat. I can't do that. I should turn off the chat. It definitely distracts me because I'm excited. I love that you guys are so engaged. This is amazing. All right, so unwavering faith and extraordinary effort during the 30-day challenge. And by the way, I started to mention this earlier and I forgot to finish it. Miracle May. What do you guys think of that, right? If you're watching this live, I know that this course is probably going to be, for sale down the road. People are going to be engaging in this for who knows how many years. But today, right now, this week, it is April, what is today? April 24th. That means you have roughly 1 week, right, to apply what we're going to learn today, or what you're learning today. And we'd have another 20 minutes of learning to go on. But applying what you're learning for the next week and filling out all of the bonuses that you got in the Miracle Morning. I emailed those to you this morning, by the way. If you're part of this challenge, I emailed you all those bonuses this morning because we're having some tech issues with the website, tmebonuses.com. So I emailed them directly to you with links. You can download them. One is the 30-day challenge workbook. The other is the Miracle Equation Affirmations template. Download those. Print them out in full color if you've got a color printer so you can see the vibrant blue that matches the vibrancy of this book. This is my favorite color, by the way. So I'm really excited. My publisher, I'm going to give you guys a little tip. Originally, they sent me this and it was gray. The word miracle was gray. And I'm like, gray? I don't feel like miracles are gray, right? Like they're bright, they're vibrant. So we got blue. So there you go. There it is too. So I love all right, sorry. Okay. I'm a little biased about my book cover. I think it's the prettiest book cover I've ever seen. All right, so where were we? Deep breath. Real purpose of a goal. Oh, Miracle May, though, by the way. So yeah, Miracle May is what a perfect month to do your 30-day challenge in the month of Miracle May. And so I would encourage you to take the next week to prepare. The next week, even get started. Start filling out your 30-day challenge workbook. Start, reviewing your notes. Listen to that Miracle Equation guided meditation, right? That I sent to you guys the other day as well. And great feedback I've gotten from you guys so far. Really excited about that because I mentioned in the email, it's the first ever guided meditation I've ever recorded. So I was a little bit nervous, a little insecure going, I don't know how to record a guided meditation. Am I doing this right? But I listened to enough of them. So I thought, I'm just going to speak the way I like to listen to my guided meditations. And so I'm glad that those of you that have given me feedback are enjoying it. And those that don't enjoy it, you probably just haven't given your feedback yet. That's right. Keep it to yourself. I'm just kidding. Now I welcome all feedback, as you'll find out when I send you the evaluation after the course today. So the real purpose of a goal, right? It's not to hit the goal. It's to develop yourself into the type of person that you need to be that can achieve any and every goal that you want. And to close out the story of the miracle morning, my mission, and it was a mission, and I literally consciously applied the miracle equation to it. Because remember, I would imagine most of you know this, but if you don't know this, the miracle equation is a concept that I developed and created 6 years before I started practicing the miracle morning, right? So it's actually, or maybe even 7 years. So I was applying the miracle equation consciously and actively to my mission of changing 1 million lives one morning at a time. My goal was to do it in 1 year. Remember, I only sold about 10,000 copies that year, and it took me, get ready for this. Did I do it year 2? No, year 2, I sold about 20,000 copies. So after 2 years of pursuing my mission, I had only impacted 30,000 lives. Now, granted, there's a ripple effect, and anytime someone's life is impacted, as we're talking about the mission of elevating consciousness, well, if somebody is a parent and they improve themselves, then they become a better parent. They become a better friend, a better leader, a better spouse, right? So there is an impact, but in terms of actually directly reaching that goal of selling 1 million books, I had only sold 30,000. It took me 6 years. 6 years when I set the goal to do it in 1. So if you have been working on a goal for a long time and it's taken you so much longer, and maybe you've gotten discouraged, maybe you even have goals that you've been working on or you were working on that you've given up on because you got discouraged. Self-doubt won out, right? Self-doubt won out. You can't let self-doubt win out. If that's the case, I hope you'll take this, my example, my story, and go, wow, Hal gave it everything he had. He worked his butt off. Extraordinary effort for a year, and it took me 6 years to finally reach that goal. And here's the crazy part. 6 years, and in the last couple of years, we've sold another 700,000 copies and impacted 700,000 lives in the Miracle Morning. So think about that. It took 6 years to get to the first million, and it's going to take about 2.5, like less than half that time, to reach the next million people and beyond. So there's many lessons in there I hope you're extracting. One is it often takes longer, but if you apply the miracle equation, your success is inevitable. The only variable is time. And as long as you stay committed to the 2 decisions of the miracle equation, unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, it's only a matter of time. So when you understand that the real purpose of a goal is not to hit the goal, the real purpose is to develop yourself into the type of person who has the qualities and the characteristics, who embodies the qualities and characteristics of a goal achiever, your entire life will be better forever. Not just based on that one goal, but every goal you ever set, every goal you ever pursue. And so now let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about clarifying your mission. That is the biggest focus between now and next week. Your assignment is going to be to determine your mission. What is your first mission going to be? And this is a mission that you will start you're going to define your process. So we'll do it on next week's call. We're going to define your process on next week's call, and we're going to really work through that. And again, you can start this now. Like don't feel like I'm holding you back. As you're going through the Miracle Equation 30-day challenge workbook, you're going to have an opportunity to start defining your process and all these various things we're doing over the course. you can start that now. You can get ahead, right? You can be an overachiever. Get ahead, and then that way when you come to next week's call, in fact, the further you go in the workbook, if you get it all done, then I'm just going to help you. You're actually going to be better off as we go through these components each week, because you're going to have already done the pre-work. You're going to have already done some of the activities that you can then bring to the call and go, yeah, I worked on this already. So I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do. And then I will help you understand it at a deeper level. And most importantly, help you to implement it. So what is the difference between goals and your mission? I'm just going to write that down. Goals versus a mission. All right. Between your goals and your mission. The difference is relatively simple. Goals are, and really you could say that it's semantics, but it's more than that. Goals are things that we set. Usually we do it at least once a year, right? We set our goals, and setting our goals ends up being something that we do. It becomes a fun activity usually, right? We look forward to it. It's kind of exciting to set our goals, but it often becomes an activity that we do kind of like reading a personal development book, where you do it, it's fun, it's enjoyable, you feel good while you do it, but then you don't actually implement and take the actions necessary to turn it into tangible results. And goals we often set each year, and sometimes maybe you can relate to this. You even set your goals and you know you're not going to hit them. Like you set them, but you're not really committed to doing whatever it takes to hit them. You kind of just set them because it's fun to imagine all these great things happening for us, right? And oh, what if I did that? Well, that'd be great. I'm gonna write that down. What if I made $1 million? What if I lost 20 pounds? Ooh, what if I was the best father or mother ever? What if I grew my company by 100%? What if? And we have all these different goals that we set, and very often we don't prioritize them, and then we end up not achieving. Sometimes we don't achieve any of them, or we only achieve a few, and we often don't achieve the ones that would have the biggest impact, the biggest positive impact in our lives. So the idea, the concept of defining your mission, deciding on a mission, is that you look at all your goals that you've set and you ask yourself, which of these goals would make the biggest impact in your life, right? Or you're asking yourself, which would make the biggest impact in my life? And when I say the biggest impact in your life, I'm talking about two different facets of an impact. I'm talking about the impact externally, like if you were to set a financial goal, an income goal, and you were to reach it and you were increasing your income, well, that is an external impact. You're literally getting dollars in your bank account that are going to allow you to have the freedom to do things with that money that you wouldn't have otherwise had if you did not make it. So that's an external impact. The internal impact is based not on the destination of reaching the goal, but it's what we talked about earlier, the real purpose of a goal, which is it's your self-development. So the internal impact, when you ask yourself which of these goals would have the biggest impact on not only me externally and my quality of life, but which of these goals would have the biggest impact on me internally by me giving it everything I have to reach the goal, regardless of whether or not I reach it. What would allow me to develop the qualities and the characteristics that would serve me long after the attempt to reach the goal is gone? And you may remember in the Miracle Morning, I talked about when I ran that ultra marathon. I hated running. I still hate running. So people go, well, why would you run an ultra marathon if you hate running? Usually people that love running, they run a 10K, then they run a half marathon, then they run a full marathon, then they run an ultra marathon. I went from never running more than 1 mile in high school PE class, physical education class, to deciding I was going to run 52 miles. And the reason is, it's counterintuitive. It's I hate running. So I thought, who would I have to become to run 52 miles in one day? I've never met that person. I don't know that guy, but I would love to meet him, and shoot, I'd love to become him. And I thought, and that's why I committed to it. I committed to it publicly. I made a public commitment on Facebook, to my email list, to my friends, to a charity, Front Row Foundation, my favorite charity. I said, I'm going to run this ultra marathon and I'm going to raise money for the charity. And to be totally transparent, I thought, I'm going to make this public commitment because I will look like a total jerk if I commit to support a charity for this run and then I just flake out on it. I thought I can't do that, right? Like my integrity will not let me do that if I make the commitment. Now, here's the deal. And this is why it's one of the safety nets that we talk about in the book that we're going to talk about throughout the training, not today, but throughout the training that we're going through, is making a public commitment to your mission so that you leverage your integrity, you leverage your character, you leverage your values so that you're that much more likely to follow through. So that's what I did. But again, the reason I did it, it wasn't for the external impact or the external benefit, it was for the internal benefit. That's why I was primarily doing it, was I wanted to become a better version of myself. I thought the person that can run 52 miles in it one day, the person that can run 52 miles in one day, that I don't know that guy, I've never been that guy, never met that guy. I thought he is more capable than I am. And so I want to develop those capabilities that I don't have yet. I don't even know fully what they are, but I want to have those in my world, in my life, in my repertoire, right? In my toolkit, if you will. So again, to determine your mission, you're going to look at all your goals for 2019. And this, again, flexibility. You might go, well, Hal, I just want to focus on my goal for the month of May. Great. Typically, though, your goal is going to feed into your goal for the entire year and maybe your mission for your life, right? So I'm not going to put any kind of confines on what the time frame is that you set your mission for. It could be a life mission. It could be a mission for the year. It could be just a monthly mission. However, let's say it is a life mission or it's a mission for the year. I want you to look at, okay, what is the mission for the month of May that will feed into and keep me on track, or at least get me off the ground toward my long-term mission. So keep that in mind, right? If your mission is to, write a book, you're probably not going to do it in 1 month, right? If you haven't started, but your mission is, I want to write a book that'll change the world. Finishing in 1 month isn't very likely. But determining your process, which we'll get to in a few trainings from now, right? Or next training, determining your process is going to be what you'll do every day in the month of May that will put the habit in place. The extraordinary effort will become a habit for you so that your success, as long as you just maintain the habit after the 30 days, it will make your reaching that mission inevitable. It's only a matter of time. And if you're like me, you might want to do it in a year and it might take you 6, right? It might take you 6, or it might take you 2, or it might take you 1.5 years, or you might do it even faster, right? But usually you may be more like me than not, and it might take you a little longer than you thought. Before we get into your assignments, your homework, if you will, I want to just share one more story. And this is the story of the best year of my life. Now, disclaimer, every year I work on it being the best year of my life, and I try to be the best version of myself each and every year to create a level 10 life and be the level 10 version of me and all of these things. However, when I say the best year of my life, this was the year where I went from, in a lot of ways, accepting mediocrity for my life, and I talk about this story in my books, accepting mediocrity in my life to finally living at what felt like a level 10 at that time. And keep in mind that you never actually reach level 10, because your vision for a level 10 life and your vision for a level 10 you right now is based on your past, your experience up until this point, and your awareness and your capability and your knowledge. But here's what happens. When you set a parameter, a benchmark of, hey, this is my level 10 life or my level 10 me, once you then get to that benchmark and you reach that goal, your vision for what's possible for your life expands. So when you hit level 10, it might only be level 4 for the new vision of what your level 10 could be. And then when you hit that level 10, it might only be like a level 3 or level 6 for what your level 10 could be. So as you continue to define level 10 success for yourself as a person and for every area of your life, when you reach level 10, it's no longer level 10, because you've become a better version of yourself. And now your vision and your capacity for what level 10 can be for you, it grows and it expands. So for me, this was the year 2005 when I went from level, I don't know what I was at. Let's say I was at like a 5 in terms of my potential at that time, to being at a level 9, real close to level 10. And that year, was the year that I decided I wanted to double my income. And my income, I'll be very transparent. I won't ever hide anything from you guys. So I was 25 years old at that time, roughly 24, 25. Or 2004 ended, I was 25. And the previous 5 years, I had been one of the top sales reps for Cutco while I was going to college. And I was earning on average about $50,000 a year, a little more, maybe 52, 53. So that was my income. And I wanted to earn $100,000. I wanted it to be my first year ever, my first 6-figure income year. And it was my last year with the company. I just hit Hall of Fame, and I decided I was going to give it one more year to try to give it my best effort. So I wanted to double my income and double my sales. Now, if you can imagine, right, the idea of increasing your income by 10% or even 20% or 30% or 50% is pretty intimidating, right? 10, 20, maybe that's not too intimidating, but like 50 is intimidating. 100% increase was downright terrifying. I was more afraid that I would fail than confident that I would succeed. So I applied the miracle equation. But what I applied was the mission strategy that you're going to apply this week. I looked at all of my goals for the year. My goal was to write, I had my biggest goals ever, not just one big goal to double my income. I wanted to write my first book, Taking Life Head On, to share my car accident story and the lessons I learned from that. I wanted to get in the best shape of my life physically. I wanted to put on 20 pounds of muscle and get my body fat under 10%. I wanted to meet the woman of my dreams and start dating her and eventually marry her. I wanted to rock climb 3 days a week. It was like my new obsession. I had this hobby of rock climbing. I wanted to be able to do it 3 days a week around my work schedule. I wanted to lead a group of my colleagues to have their best year ever. And I wanted to launch my speaking career, and I wanted to start a coaching business. So you think about any one of these goals could have been a mission. They were all big goals. And here's what happened. I wanted to do all of them. So instead of pursuing all, like most, I think people, like common thinking would be, well, I've got 10 different goals here, or 8 different goals. I'm not sure how many it was, but I'm going to pursue all of them equally, right? They're all equally important to me. But that would have been my downfall. Because the problem with that is when you wake up every day, if you have all of your goals have equal importance, equal priority, then the problem is you look at them and you go, which one do I want to work on right now? Which one should I work on? And usually we work on the one that's the least scary, that has the least potential significant consequences, both positive or negative, right? We tend to go check email. We tend to do the things that keep us busy, but not necessarily productive, definitely not productive toward our highest goals and dreams. So instead of doing the approach most people take with goal setting, which is where I just work on them all, kind of depending on the day or depending on my mood, I decided I had to identify my mission. What's the one goal? By committing to it, giving it everything I have until the last moment, it will enable me to develop the qualities and characteristics that will allow me to achieve every other goal that I have this year and for the rest of my life. And I decided it was my sales goal. To double my sales will require more discipline than I've ever had before in my life. Discipline is a cornerstone value, quality, habit, character trait for everything you want to achieve. I thought trying to double my sales in a year will require me to develop more consistency than I've ever had before. And if you've heard me say this, extraordinary effort is really consistency. That's the simplest. If I define extraordinary effort in one word, it'd be consistency. It's doing something every day to move you in the direction of your biggest goals and dreams. I realized that I would have to develop a unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, the two decisions of the miracle equation. I'd have to develop those at the highest level to double my sales and double my income. So how did this play out? It was real simple. Because I was committed to my mission every single day, every day that I woke up, I didn't do what most of us do with our goals, which is, got all these goals. Which one do I feel like working on today? Which one do I feel like? Which one should I didn't play that game. Every day I woke up and it was, I know what my mission is, and I am not allowed. I had a self-imposed rule. I'm not allowed to invest another second in any of my other goals until I've followed through with my predetermined process to achieve my mission. That is what I must do first. And so every day I made my sales calls, and I wasn't allowed to go to the gym. I wasn't allowed to work on my book, wasn't allowed to work on my coaching business, wasn't allowed to go rock climbing, wasn't allowed to mess around on the dating website that I met my wife on, right? Match.com, true story. Actually, back then it was Yahoo Personals. Match.com bought them. Wasn't allowed to work on that, right? And that was fun. Right? I love to go on the dating website and looking for messages and all that. I wasn't allowed to. Couldn't even check. Couldn't check email. Couldn't do anything until I followed through with my mission. And that year, not only did I double my income, double my sales, double my income, I achieved every single goal that I just shared with you. I rock climbed 3 days a week. I got down to 5.7% body fat. I put on 20 pounds of muscle. I met Ursula Elrod, Ursula Gorski at the time. She's now Ursula Elrod, who I am married to with 2 children. I gave my first paid speech, my first 2 paid speeches that year. One for $500 for Countrywide Home Loan and one for $1,500 for a nonprofit organization. I launched my coaching business and brought on my first 12 coaching clients. What else did I do? I led a team and broke the record for the most sales reps. Most of my colleagues that had ever hit the highest sales mark in our company. I achieved every single goal that I set. But I believe that I only achieved them all because I was committed to my mission. And I was very clear that that was my number 1 priority, and everything else fell in line. So here we go. I'm going to wrap it up. We got 2 minutes left with your homework for the week. Number 1, here's your homework. Start utilizing all of the Miracle Equation resources and bonuses. So download and print the 30-day challenge workbook that I emailed you this morning. Download and print the Miracle Equation affirmation template. Download and print the implementation guide, right, which was emailed to you as a bonus as well. As that was one of the launch bonuses. And download and listen to the Miracle Equation guided meditation if you haven't already done so. And I'd encourage you to listen to that at least once a week. If you want to listen to it more often, you're welcome to. Number 2 assignment, decide on your first mission. Again, to do that, look at all of your goals for 2019. All of your goals in each area, your health, your fitness, your family, your finances, every goal, every area, your career, and ask yourself, which of these goals will make the biggest impact in your life, both internally and externally? Both externally in terms of what you get and internally in terms of who you become. And 2 tips when it comes to choosing your first mission. Number 1, be thoughtful. But number 2, maybe more importantly, don't worry about getting it right. This is a long life, and I believe that every experience can, and I would go as far as saying should, be about your fulfillment and your growth. So don't worry about having the perfect mission. You might set a mission and work towards it for a week and then decide, I need to change it, right? Or I need to modify it. That's okay. But get clear, obviously be thoughtful so that ideally you don't have to change it, but also don't put pressure on yourself that it has to be perfect and right and there's no other option. You could set a mission and then you can tweak it as you move forward, okay? And during the month of May, you're going to be working on, again, Miracle May, you'll be working on making consistent progress on your mission. And the last assignment is simply please complete the follow-up evaluation form that you're going to get when you get an email today with the recording for this call. Please click on the link. It'll take you just a few minutes and give your feedback, submit any questions, any requests that you have, and we'll do this week by week. So after every training session, you'll be able to click that link, fill out the form, and you'll be able to submit any questions that you have. And the questions we will compile, we'll incorporate them into the training each week. But remember, the 6th training is going to be all me answering your questions, both that have been submitted along the way and live on that very last training. All right, we're at 1 hour and just hit 1 hour and 1 minute. So out of respect for your time and Chip's time over there, Miracle Equation, Miracle Mavens, right? We got a new name for everybody. Miracle Mavens. Thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Hope you are enjoying the Miracle Equation. Thank you for getting the book. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for being fully present, fully engaged, playing fully playing full out. And I'm excited to see, I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm excited to see the tangible, measurable miracles, AKA extraordinary results that you create in your life this month and beyond. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you next week. Take care.